she'll be on.
All right, so this is the part 2 that we're continuing, and we're just waiting for Monique. But yeah, hopefully she'll get it. But if you have anything else that's on your mind.
Yeah, so I'm looking, I gotta look up, I got a lot of things here. Do you often wonder, you know, how the twin flame is, how they were with us? You know, do you think like they're like that with other people as well? Like they have that same, you know, behavior or whatever you want to call it?
I mean, it matters. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I don't think they had the same experience with another person. I mean, my twin said to me, I told him I was his twin, and he said, I think there's more than just one.
Yeah, but do you think that they treat others the same way they treat us? You know, do
Well,
you think
from
it's just in them to be this way?
yeah, no, I think it's just a unique relationship. I don't think it's like they just do that with everybody. That I don't think so.
I used to think that it was special until I had three. Then it was no longer special because, you know, I was like, oh, you know, this can only happen. You know, this is a unique thing that, you know, it only happens one time. Now, fuck that. I don't believe that. So it's to me, it's like, this is why I always say it's no different than any other situation. It's just there. The only difference is there's that magnetic pull, the recognition, and all that shit. But it doesn't make them special to me. It's just it is
Well,
what it is.
well, yeah, I don't think they're special anymore, but I think like what happened with me and him, I don't think he's had that kind of experience with another. But I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. If I talk to him, maybe he'd be like, I have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Monique is on now.
Okay. I was about to go back and invite her again. So I'll ask her the same thing then. Can you hear us, Monique? Well, she disappeared. The hell just happened?
She's on and off.
Yeah, she was just on and then it went. Um, maybe I have to. Oh, there she is.
Oh, she joined again.
So you know, Monique, what I was asking Yasmin is, um, do you think that the twin flame treats other people like they treat the connection that you have with them? Do you think it's a pattern with them?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Like I, you know, I don't check his Facebook very often anymore. Like once in a blue while, I'll take a peek. A blue moon, I'll take a peek. But it seems like the same kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not so much with me, but with his past girlfriends, I can see like, because I was like, when I was with him, I was insecure. There was the insecurity and stuff. So I would check up like his old stuff on his Facebook just to kind of, see how he treated the people before me. We were always very nice to each other. There was no meanness, name calling, anything like that. Never happened. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe, interesting fact though, the engagement ring, they're married now, was identical to mine. Identical.
It's just stuff I'm saying. Like they have to. This must be a pattern or something. Look at
I don't
Monique's
know.
mouth. No, it could be Yasmin's mouth just dropped.
I like the same engagement ring.
I remember because when they got engaged, I remember like zooming in on the ring because they did the whole on Facebook page. So I zoomed in on it and I'm like, I'll be a motherfucker. He bought her the same fucking ring. It looks very similar.
Wow.
That's a kick in the stomach. That
Oh,
really
yeah.
is.
I mean, a lot of things. I feel like a lot of those things were being shown to me because I had so much fear-based energy around my twin that it had to be seen. Like that's the way I look at it. And that might be a story, but it was like I had to, in order to transcend it, I had to see it. I had to see everything I was afraid of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
Me
was
too.
shown to me. My biggest fear was that he would get married, and he did. It was like, and one of the things that El Hari talks about as a twin flame apparent teacher was that they will show you everything you're afraid of that will happen. If you're whatever you're afraid of, they're going to show it to you. And it happened just like that. She was like, yep, if you're afraid they're going to get married, they have to do it. They have to show it to you.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
That sounds deadly, Monique. But I never had a fear of mine getting married or anything like that. I couldn't lose him. Like I couldn't think of my life without him. And then I had to let him go. But there's something that came up for me. I felt like before I was on the spiritual path and before I got into non-duality, I felt like letting go of him was letting go of myself. And that's when I died. Like, in a way, he was me. Like, it's weird. It's like, in a way, letting him go was letting go of myself. Like, did you have any of that feeling?
Um, I just remember feeling like I couldn't imagine life without him in it, and that I would never, ever get over it. Like I was scared. I was like, I was binge watching El Hari videos, and then like I found the twin flame coach that I actually worked with. But the cool thing to me, apparently, it's just a story now to me, but what they both talked about was the same. They were very similar to me in their approaches about like, it's not about them. The more you obsess about them, the more that they'll run. Obviously, there's two types. There's the ones that come back and come back and forth, or there's the one who actually just ghosted. I had the ghost experience. Like he came back a couple times, but it wasn't like, and then the last time I felt that magnetic push that we talked about, that actual physical push that I didn't know what it was until after I, happened upon twin flames and saw that was, then when it talked about push pull energy, it made complete sense to me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's, I still think that, I mean, everything happens like dead on. There's no past or future, right? But apparently that appeared to happen textbook style for me, because everything they talked about, I had the textbook experience of what
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. So it, now there's no there, for so long, the character, me, whatever, wanted so badly for him to come back that I could not focus on that. Like no matter, I set my attentions, I did all the things, read all the books, and energetically, the person was seeking with all the spiritual teachers and all that happening. But there was still in the background running, and there was so much fear still for so long. It took a long time. And one of the things that Kurt did talk about was detoxing from their energy. He said this could take years. It could take years to detox from their energy, apparent them. And in my case, that appeared to be what it took a long time. Like he still crosses my mind every day, but not like him. I don't see him in my mind. It's just the like, oh, I thought about him today, but not really. You know what I mean? I didn't like go there and think about him and wonder what he's doing or anything like that.
You didn't create a story. You're not creating stories around him.
So yeah, like even if, I loved the character, loved the life that she had with him, it was peaceful and fun and great sex and all of it. It was everything but still there was a lot of self-loathing and misery in the character, in spite of having what apparently I thought I was looking for my whole life was the one. But that wasn't going to there was no happiness in that, because it's all false. It's all an illusion anyway. It's all bullshit. Once you have the apparent realization where you know what I mean, it's realized that nothing outside of you can ever bring joy. You already are that. You're already everything you will ever want or need.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
parent to me, like it was easier not to, like now I don't care if he shows up or not. I can honestly say it. Like it'd be cool. It'd be interesting, you
Yeah,
know?
for me, it's like I
Be-
want to just ask questions, like, so what happened with you? And I want to that I'm just curious, but I don't care. But you know, it's very interesting because these twin flame coaches talk about detoxing from them, or you need to stop thinking about them. But there's nobody here to really do that. And when I was on the path, I was doing all those things. But then you realize you could have never stopped that from happening. It just stops when it
It's
stops.
Stops on its own.
There's, yeah,
there's
Yeah,
no one
that
doing it. So they love, you know, and nothing against the teaching, because when you're in the person that before realization, that's all you have, right? Apparently you think that's the teachings appear to help the person. So you think in the when you're in it, you think, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that, right. And then I, you know, follow the teaching and, oh, he said to read this book or she said to do this, or, you know, but yeah, like you said, when it's gone, it's gone. When, and there's, I don't know about you guys, but there's so much now because the mind seems to be mostly gone. Like other, there's no these thoughts that, but it feels intuitive now. Like it's just everything feels like it doesn't come from here, it comes from here.
it's pure. Everything is
It,
pure.
yeah, feels like
it's
when
just
there
what's
seems to be
coming up now, I think. It's just what's coming up because I don't even resonate with intuitive because I don't even know what that is. Because when I think of
yeah,
intuitive, I think of like within thing and the soul and the spirit. I don't know the spirit, but I feel like it's now it's just more of like, okay, it's just whatever's coming up. It's like a flow that happens, I guess. I don't know. And it's funny you brought that up because I wanted to talk about it's kind of what I want to talk was similar to that. And it has a lot to do with do you feel a lot more comfortable now in the story? Like I feel more like comfortable in it. Like it is what it is. And even if it's hard or it feels a certain type of way, it's still like, I mean, it's like it is what it is. It's just what's coming up. Where before, when I was coming in and out of non-dual realization, it was really like, I don't know, like you, Yasmin, when I first met her, like that was the thing for us. Like we were like talking about like it's when you're coming in and out of that shit, it's like, yeah, you that's just the story. And then you're back in it again. And it's, oh, that's just the story. And you know what I'm saying? And now I'm just in it. I'm in it fully.
Yeah, I mean, like for
yeah,
me, life is easier because I'm not trying to get anywhere anymore because I was constantly trying to improve, constantly working on myself, constantly seeking, constantly trying to get my twin flame. It was like constant, So everything is what it is. So it's more peaceful and life is just more raw. But I mean, I will not deny that when shit hits the fan, shit is fucking hitting the fucking fan, and I feel it. Like I don't know, maybe because I'm a Leo and I'm super intense or whatever. I don't so emotional person, but when something bad is happening, I am like hurt like hell, like deeply hurt. But majority of the time, life is simpler because I don't I don't have to do what people want me to do. I don't have to. It's just everything is what it is. There's no regrets. So life is. It's just life. I kind of feel like an airhead a lot of the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, like.
yeah,
What
exactly.
about
I
you,
feel that.
Monique? What about you?
Yeah, same. Like Shannon said, it's like it just feels simpler, like you said too. It's just yeah, it's just whatever unfolds. It doesn't feel heavy anymore. It doesn't feel, and it can. I mean, there are moments, I'm sure, but it's not like before, or that even sounds like a story when you say it, but it's just better, at least here.
I don't have any
And I,
mind attacks. Like you don't have any. I don't have any. And before I would be like, oh my god, I can't get rid of my twin, and my mind's driving me crazy, and oh my, like not. It's just very simple, pure living. No expectations of others, and just everything's like all right. Like I
yeah,
feel like a hippie or something. Like just kind of
yeah,
like
empty.
Yeah. I know I've been having moments like that where you just kind of like, I don't know. I'm having one right now, actually.
It's like you're high a little bit, you kind of just chill.
Right? I'm just kind of like, thanks. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, there ain't nothing coming up right now.
Yeah. I have I have
Even like,
moments where I just can't talk. I just can't. I just like will stare at people or something, and I just smile. Like it's the regular psychological responses that used to be like, oh, you have to say something, or you need to fill in the emptiness or space. No, it's just it's like it's just chill. It's a chill life.
I noticed that in California, that there was no like high highs or low lows, other than, I had an argument with my daughter. It got pretty heated. But there was no attachment to like it didn't stick. No, I was fine. Within 5 minutes, I was good. Like I was like, okay, now let's go watch the damn whales. But like there was no big highs or lows. There wasn't. It was like, oh, I'm in California. Cool. And that was it. It was felt so neutral. It was great. Like I enjoyed it, but there wasn't like, oh my God, I'm in California.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be there, but there wasn't any big highs and there wasn't any low lows. It was just like, wow, this is pretty. Wow, the air smells amazing here. Wow, this is cool. But there wasn't, it still felt like neutral.
You're
It
not
just felt
attached,
neutral.
you're
Yeah.
not, there's no more attachment, and I want this back, and I want to feel this again, and
Right.
oh my God, how did I get myself to do, like, it's just is what it is on a moment basis, and you enjoy it or you don't or whatever. And I think it's like you said, Monique, before, like it's like the way kids live, I mean, they experience something, then they want to go play, and then it's just, if we don't play, we don't play. I don't know. I feel like I'm less picky. I'm less regretful. I'm less having expectations. If something happened, that's what happened. But obviously we know that there's no one here to do anything or make choices. So overall, such a better way of living life. Like, Shannon, are you alive?
I want to ask you something, Yasmin, because I
Yeah.
know you're currently dating someone,
Yeah.
and I met someone, and I don't know, bro. Like, I really feel like something ain't right, and I'm trying to. Don't want to even like. First of all, we got the same birthdays, okay? May 8th. It's kind of fucking weird, and not just that. He is really like into tarot cards, and he's very like spiritual, right? And he was like asking me questions about like certain things to do with spirituality, and I said, I'm really not spiritual. I said, because he's into the ancestral stuff, like he likes to dig into that thing, the ancestral stuff. And I said, I like playing in that stuff. I said, but I said, I don't believe in any of that. He said, yeah, you say that a lot. He said, you say that a lot. And I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah. And then I got into it with him a little bit more into it, because I was like, I try to explain it to him, right, a little bit without trying to tell him about the tarot readings and stuff. I said, oh, that's just storytelling. I said, I love playing in it. I said, but I don't have a belief behind it. I said, if you resonate with it, you resonate with it. It's just reading cards. That's all it is. He goes, yeah. And then, when I kind of started getting into like the non-dual speaking a little bit, because he really asked a lot of questions. What he said, I don't think you're meant to tell me this stuff. He said, I
Oh
don't,
my
because
God.
I
He
don't
doesn't.
think I don't think you're supposed to be telling me this.
Huh.
And I stopped in my tracks and I went, oh, and I didn't even know what to say after that.
Wow.
I don't tell people. I sometimes I tell my sister, and then she gets cross-eyed. She starts like, gets unconscious, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop, because she checks out, her eyes get cross-eyed, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this. My boyfriend and I, in the beginning, I said a little bit, and then
Yeah.
he was like, I don't think you have hope. And I was like, okay, you know what, I
It's not
can't
about
go
that.
there.
But
So
yeah.
I don't talk to him about it, but he does know. I tell him, listen, I came out of this is what I say. These are my, because I know no one's going to understand us, So I said, listen, I came out of the spiritual path with no stance anymore. I don't believe I'm a Democrat or a Republican
Yeah.
or this is right, this is wrong. I came out with no stance, and I want everyone to have freedom. That's what I say, and he's like, that's so beautiful.
Right? No, he says that to me too. He's like, wow, he's like, you amaze me and blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't believe in religion and all that stuff. Like, he's not about that life. Like, he's like, that's all governmental and blah, blah, blah. Like, he gets really into that. But he likes to talk a lot about the downloads and shit that he receives. And I'm just like, bro. What do I say to that? Like, but I listen to him because he's cool as shit. And I love talking to him, but I've been seeing his name everywhere, y'all. Like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, wow.
And I told him that because we were on the phone because he, we go back and forth all day. And I was like, tell me why.
Don't tell me you got another twin flame.
No, God, no. Stop. Don't even.
I think you have the world record of twin flames. And like I don't know. That is ridiculous.
I told him, I said, why? Because my dad brought it up yesterday in the car. He was like, yeah, this guy named Jared. This guy named, I already just said his name, and I'm just looking at him, and then I hear it. I have to do dashes, right? I'm going to certain people's houses with that fucking name.
Oh,
then I'll hear it on TV, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I said that to him. I was like, why the fuck am I hearing? Because he has one. He has a twin flame.
Oh, wow. I think you might get another twin flame.
God, don't say that, please. No, I don't think I am, though. Please don't do it. Please. I don't know what the fuck is going on because I don't feel that with him. I don't feel any of that whatsoever. But I feel it's kind of weird how like all that shit's going on. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this goes to show like twin flame ain't really a fucking thing because it can happen to anyone. You can still have certain things that happen, right? I think it's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, I mean, my boyfriend says things that make me feel like.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Like he says things to me like, oh my God, how did we end up together? Like it was fate and it was this. And I'm just like, oh, that's so cute. I don't go there and be like, there's no fate. And there, I don't talk.
Yeah.
I'm just like watching him kind of be like me when I was in the spiritual path, and I just like, I just kind of have no judgment. I let people do what they have to do because I remember when I was on the spiritual path, if someone told me that shit wasn't real, I would have killed somebody. I was so invested, in God and spirituality and my twin flame. So I don't want to be anybody's wake up call because it was horrible for me. But yeah, he says things like that, and it's got to be fate. There has to have been a plan. How could I have met someone like you? And I'm just like, oh, like. It's wonderful.
He'll ask questions. He'll be like, well, he goes, do you think that the reason why he'll really he's really deep. Like he's fucking deep as hell. And I'm just listening. And then he'll ask me like, well, don't you guys, I don't believe in any of that shit. I said, so I don't know. And I just leave it as it is. But anyways, Monique, did you have anything you wanted to offer to the conversation?
Monique, do you tell anybody about your non-duality experience?
Not
Not anymore.
No, because I realized the same thing. I get the rolled eyes, or I get the oh, or like, what is she talking about? Like, it's just pointless. It is either it's gonna happen or appear to happen to them, or they're gonna have a realization or not. And everything's included, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
It's like, why do I have to tell them, because who's telling them? Sorry, my dog jumped from the bed. Hi, Jinx.
I feel like in a way I'm misunderstood by the whole world, but it doesn't bother me. But I know that no one is ever going to understand except you ladies. I already know that. So I just don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I give up. They're going to cross their eyes. They're going to go unconscious. They're going to I don't know what's going to happen. So,
but have you ever had your family tell you, well, you just go through phases? They'll tell my family's always like, God, you go through all these little different phases and now you're on this phase. And I'm just like, No, I want to say, no, bro, this is it. There ain't no fucking phases anymore. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my
Yeah.
family thinks I'm a little weird when I say, no, I'm done, and they're like, oh, you think you know everything about, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not saying it like that. I'm really done. Like, I'm not done, but I mean, really, after non-duality, you're not even there. You're dead, so
Are you
you
though?
died already being
But are
alive.
you even dead? Like, we don't even know what that is. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
My
You know
daughter
what I
says
mean?
things to me. Yeah. My daughter says to me,
Ooh.
"Oh, not everybody can be perfect like you." And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
and I'm
Lord.
like, I don't think I'm perfect at all. I'm just not going to argue with you anymore. Or I'm giving you a suggestion. You don't have to follow it. Like, I'm not attached to whether you take my advice. I don't think I'm perfect, but I'm just offering you a suggestion. Maybe you could try this. But it doesn't bother me anymore, like that she says that. It just, because it kind of just feels like you're Teflon sometimes, not always, but a lot. It just rolls off, just like rolls right off. Like, okay,
Yeah.
feel
I
free to
mean,
think that.
I feel like they get the wrong perception, people, of what we're saying. And I understand them, because I don't know what the fuck I'm even saying myself, but I get it. And that's why I just gave up. I'm not telling anybody anything. It's just more of a headache for me. I just let people believe in the Holy Ghost or an alien or what. I don't give a shit. What I'm just like, okay,
As Shannon says, be you, do you.
be you, do
Yeah,
Do
you.
you.
really, at the end of the day, and there ain't no motherfucking end of the day, but oh well, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Um,
Anything else you want to talk about?
I do have a whole bunch of things that I've kept for a long time that we've never even talked about. Um, God, a lot of it's on twin flames. Like, anyone else feel the union coming in super heavily? Did
I
you,
did before.
yeah. I
I,
used to,
I
did you used to get senses when you knew? Like, I always sense when he's about to pop up. Like, it's a sense. I don't know what it is really though, but I can feel something. And then boom, he'll pop up. But then there are times I can feel a sense and it doesn't happen. I feel like it's a catch 22. Like, there's no telling how things are going to show up. You know what I mean? And to me, there's no such thing as union, because if you think about it, it's always
everything is
hit and miss with them. And sometimes they don't even show up at all. You know what I
Well, the
mean?
thing is like union means two, right? So when you get into non-duality, you know,
everything is already unified.
Yeah.
there's only this. So who the fuck you unifying with, And but I was really feeling that union was coming and we were gonna unite, and oh my god, he's gonna come back at this date and all this shit. But now when I think about it, I don't even know what that means. I like it's like like it's just, what is that? What do you mean union? There's not even a person here, So who's I don't know. I get like that's where my brain gets like cut off or something,
Yeah.
like
But
I
you know, in
used to
this,
feel,
oh, go
uh,
ahead. Go ahead, Monique.
well, to what you said. I only like really felt like after he apparently ghosted, I felt both times. Like, I literally felt one time that I went out to my car, I was playing trivia with my friends, that he was going to text me, and I got teary-eyed and I walked out in my car and he texted me. I don't know why or how I knew it, but I knew he was going to when I wanted to be alone in my car when it happened. I just knew it was going to happen. And boom, that happened 2 or 3 times with him where I just knew, and boom, there he would be. But that was, during that push back and forth energy. And then he just ghosted after that. And I never heard from him again. But Rudy, the soulmate person, apparent soulmate, I would always know. Like, I'd think of him, and I, even now, if I do it, like, I know, I don't know I know it sounds dumb, but like energetically, it just seemed like I could always tell, or he knew when I was going to text him. And but
wow.
yeah, weird.
it's unexplainable, these things. I don't even know
Yeah.
what they are. I don't know.
Yeah, in this,
Maybe because there's no separation between anything anyway. So maybe it's just energy. I don't know. Who knows?
and in
Who
the
knows?
story, it seems very real, you know, when it comes to like the whole union thing and stuff like that. And to me, like, and I know Kurt would say, you know, you got to detach, you got to do all this shit, but you can't control anything that's happening, you know. And then that's the thing is the person feels so trapped by trying to control that, you know, by
Mhm.
trying to detach and cut cords and shit like that. You can't help what's coming up for you. So, you know, you got to authentically allow it just to happen, you know what I mean? And that's when I stopped following him because I was like, dude, like, there's no getting out of this. Like, it will stop when it stops, you know, like
Right.
letting go and moving on. I remember, I don't remember how many times I tried to walk away, and then like maybe a week would go by, and I'd go on the Facebook looking at his shit. It never
Yeah,
works, but
I
it,
did.
you know,
I feel like it's the same thing as seeking. Your seeking is not going to stop until it stops. And your twin flame obsession is not, you're seeking your twin flame. You're seeking, it's the same shit. It's the same dynamic. It's like a seeking energy, and it's never going to stop until it stops. Like there,
yeah.
you have no control. Like for me, everything stopped with non-duality because it was the first time I heard this is it. And I was like, what? This is it? Are you fucking kidding me? I thought I was gonna get somewhere, you know? And then it was like this fucking dissolving of this character, like a spinning, deadly, I don't know what it was, but yeah, this is it. I mean, you're always in hope of seeking your twin and they're gonna come back or you're gonna reach enlightenment, and it's just there's
You know,
no such thing.
I got some right here.
Right.
It says control your emotions doesn't mean avoid your emotions. Feel your shit, understand your shit, but don't lose your shit. Like this is also like all over the place to me because number one, you can't control your emotions even if you tried. Like you could do a form of meditation, you can do Reiki healing and all that shit, shaman healing, clearing chakras, but emotions are always arising. So you're focusing on one. And I always say this, and then while you're focusing on that, and you're trying to clear it, another one's going to appear shortly after that. So you're basically like, it's like you're chasing, like a dog chasing his tail, like I always say, dangling carrot. It's like nothing's happening really. So, and then it's saying like, feel your shit, understand your shit, but don't lose your shit. Well, while you're trying to understand it, like I said, another emotion is going to appear shortly after that. You're going to try to understand that fucking emotion, and then that one. And then it's like, yeah, it's like you're trying to fit in this box, and it's just God, you know. And that, you know, a lot of people that are.
This
Go ahead.
this apparent character had so much trauma that I did purge a lot of things and I felt a lot of things. But at the same time, when I found out about non-duality, I was like, did that even fucking matter? Right? It didn't fucking matter. But at the same time, it did matter because I'm a healthier person now because the self has dropped off. But so it's weird. It's like you did some work and you had no control, but that did happen. But then in non-duality, it didn't even matter because it wasn't even real. So it's a big contradiction. So I had a lot of things to purge. I had a horrible life. I can't tell you the suffering from the day I was born. So there was a lot of purging, but it's confusing. It's a contradiction because I look back and say, oh, that was an illusion. The self was an illusion, but it really did happen. So I don't know. I'm talking gibberish. I'm talking non-duality.
Oh, but it makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying.
Like
Yeah.
you probably purge too, but then when the self dies, you're like, purge what? Because
Right.
if the self is not even here, then what was I even doing? I was purging an illusionary self, but I really did do that.
Me
But
too. For
but
months.
then
Yeah.
yeah, for months and years for me. But then the person doesn't even exist, and it's like you purge until you die, and then you realize that was all an illusion.
Right. It's
So
weird.
I don't even know what kind of advice to give to somebody. Like work on yourself or not. I don't
Yeah.
know because
And there's
I
nothing wrong with the person working on themselves. You know what I'm saying? I purged like you did too, but I was really trying to heal all of that. And fuck, and shit just kept coming up constantly. Yeah. And there was no getting out of that. You know what I'm saying? No. You can heal, you can do whatever you want, but it is a tool, and it only goes so far. You know what I mean? And you find yourself doing it constantly. Who wants to do that? Because that's work. You know, but I did it for years on out. I did it. But eventually I was like, man, what the fuck? I just want to be free.
Yeah.
You know?
The seeking here of freedom as well. It was just looking for, I didn't know what what was being looked for, but the seeking energy just kept seeking until apparently it stopped.
It died.
It died. That's, I think, there's a book that says, I hope you die soon or something. I haven't read it yet, but just for fun, I'm going to read it, even though it's like, I'm not seeking anymore. I'm like, you know what? Just to resonate, be fun.
Yeah. I've heard of that book, and I wanted to die. So I would constantly be like, I want to die. I want to die. Like, I didn't know even what I was talking about, but there was a lot of, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm tired because I was purging for so many years. And like, Shannon says, it's just constant. It was like constant. It was exhausting. Yeah. It was like, dude, yeah. Do I get a break? It was like this thing, that thing, that thing. It was like hitting me. I feel like I was on the fast track healing course and shit. I don't even know. But then it got so thin that I died, and it was like, oh shit. But then it wasn't even real. So it's such a contradicting.
It's a paradox.
Yeah.
Paradox.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I only have a minute left, but I really enjoyed this. It was nice.
Me too.
It was awesome.
We will do it again. I think I ran out of things. We got through everything. So I'll have to start jotting things down again, or, just see what comes up for us. And if you guys, anything comes up for you during the week, write it down. Like, I have to write it down because I'll forget if I don't to bring it up.
Me too.
So homework. If you have anything, there you go.
I'm try to write it down.
Okay. But anyways, I love you guys. Enjoy
you guys. Thank you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.